Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. back again for another episode of the Dale Jr. Download, and on this week's show, TJ Majors is going to join me and co-host, helping us out. Andrew's out under the weather a little bit. We got a great show coming up, Chicago, all kinds of things to talk about. Let's get started. The following is a production of Dirty Mo Media. Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. back again in the studio here, the Dirty Mo Media studio for the Dale Jr. Download, and I am excited. I've been on, on vacation. Amy doesn't say it's vacation, but I do. It's been a summer vacation, and I've been at my beach house, remote studio, but I'm back. We're back in the Dirty Mo Media studio, and I'm going to be a little bit on the chip today because I'm so glad to see everybody. Haven't been here in so long. And also, I got a special co-host with me, TJ Majors. Hey, TJ.
Hey, thanks for that. By the way, we call that retirement.
Retirement. Okay. Well, I don't feel retired, but I'm enjoying whatever's happening.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying whatever's going on in my life right now. Whatever you want to call it, I'm liking it. Andrew Curlin decided to get sick this morning. Said he had a fever. So, anyways, he's not here today, and we called an audible. Asked TJ to come in and pitch in, and so don't screw it up, TJ. Don't screw up the show.
The chances are high that I screw it up.
I say that because isn't that such a jerk thing to say? Don't screw it up. So I was getting ready to interview. I got to tell you, man. I was getting ready to interview these. I won't name any names, but I was going to interview these legends in this particular sport. Like I'm going to go interview somebody in front of a big crowd, and there's two legends of this sporting world that I'm not familiar with. It's not racing. And we're getting ready to walk up there on stage, and I'm so nervous about to interview these people. And one of them looked at me and said, "Don't this up." And I was like, damn, now I'm really nervous. All right, so I thought I'd say that.
I'm not really nervous,
Make
though.
you feel the way I felt.
I'm not really nervous.
I know you're not. Appreciate you giving us some time this morning. I know you're busy. I know you did. You got the Door Bumper Clear show yesterday. You got prepping all these different drivers you're spotting for. The job as a spotter. I'm being sincere here. The job as a spotter, as you've shown me over the last couple of years, all the work that you got going on during the week is quite layered. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of things that you need to do to prep your drivers, especially some of the younger drivers you work with. So thankful that you got a little bit of time this morning to come in here and help us. And Dalton's here, Alex Timms, everybody is in the studio except Andrew. We'll give him a little bit of a hard time. We honestly hope that he feels better. I texted with him this morning. Still got that great sense of humor. So we're hoping that Andrew will be back with us quickly. But I'm glad he was. I like Dalton. Don't you like a guy like that says, "Hey, I'm not feeling well. Not going to come in."
Yeah. Don't spread your stuff around to me. Keep that somewhere else.
Yeah. Not going to risk.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah.
I talked to him and he sounded fine.
Yeah,
so
Okay. He puts on a good voice. He can crank it up, I think.
He is young.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He is young.
Yeah. When I get sick, I'm
yeah, I
dead.
don't even answer the phone.
Yeah, no. And I do add a little bit of add a little tinge to my voice. Oh
yeah,
man.
A little more rasp.
Yeah.
A little more gravel.
When he gets
filled
sick,
it up a little bit.
He gets sick. It might be a 7, but he makes it a 9.
Yes,
Like he plays the 9 really well.
Oh yeah. Well, I want you to know I'm sick.
Yeah.
No,
Damn it.
Yeah.
No question here.
Yeah.
That's what it was like spotting for him. He was upset. He wanted you to know that he was upset.
Yes. Just no doubt about it.
All right, we're getting an inside look. I like it.
All right. So a lot to cover here, man. I'm so glad to be back in this room. Now, I did love. I don't want you to get that wrong. I did. I thought the remote studio worked really well. I hope that people, appreciated the effort that went into making sure that we put great content together while I was away. But God, I got to get away. So, but I still want to be able to do the show. So, thought that worked out well. Want to say hey to all the SiriusXM listeners out there, and thank you guys for tuning in. As you know, I was talking to TJ about this yesterday. TJ come by the house, and the girls got in the swimming pool and swam a little bit. I bought the Titanic Lego set. We got it started. We had a little update last week, and I left it at the house. It's going to stay there. I just feel like it's just got to stay there. right? It needs to. I want it to. You know that table that was behind me on the remote shows? I want to put it on that table, so I'm going to build it there. I'm leaving it there. I'll work on it there. Didn't bring it home. Won't be working on the Titanic here. But I bought some more sets.
What'd you get?
Blaming Byron for all of this. William Byron, appreciate you. Great job in the Cars Tour this past weekend at Caraway. Second place finish. Awesome job.
Yeah, it's a great race.
But he's costing me on these Lego sets. We got the Millennium Falcon coming, which is kind of like the second largest set next to the Titanic. A lot of pieces, thousands.
Is that your notes or your receipt?
This is my receipt in front of me. TJ's looking at my phone. There's the Batman, the animated series set, which is kind of like the shadow box of the Batman cave. It's really neat. I got that coming. The Ghostbusters car. Ooh. The Back to the Future car.
The DeLorean.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty cool looking.
And then cool. This retro 50s style radio.
I did see that too.
Yeah, those are neat.
Yeah. If there's a Lego for everything.
I bought those.
No kidding. Yeah. I built a 67 Mustang Fastback Lego. It's pretty sweet. Yeah. I'll have to show you.
Sometimes, man, I look at those Lego sets and I'm like, that don't look anything like the damn thing. You know what I mean? So, because people will be like, like the NASCAR Lego, don't look like a damn NASCAR.
No.
I ain't buying that.
No,
thank you. But these other things, I was like, yeah, I'll buy these because I look at that and I go, yep, I know what that is. So if I have it sitting out on a shelf, like TJ over here, he's like, I'm going to get the Home Alone house.
Yeah, I want the Home Alone house.
That'd be pretty
I'm
cool.
like, TJ, show me this Home Alone house, right? He shows it to him. I'm like, that looks like any house. I'm not going to see that on your shelf and go, oh, yeah, man, Home Alone house.
Yeah. But it's all that house every day.
I'm going to go, what is that? Your childhood home? Is that the childhood home you grew up in?
It's all in the details. It's got the clubhouse. It's got, you know what I mean? It's got the living room with all the little characters going by.
Nope.
From the outside, it's a Westchester, New York house. Any regular one. That's all it is.
I'm like, what is this, TJ?
You might be a little old for that movie.
Look at my dad. Look at my shelf. I've got the DeLorean.
Yeah.
You've got a damn house from
somebody gonna walk into
some suburb in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna walk into that room and be like, dude, is that the Batmobile? I mean,
no. I'm messing. So Byron, you're but I love these Legos, man. Having fun with that. Didn't mention that the Cars Tour ran at Caraway. We're gonna do an update later in the show.
Okay.
We got to do that. Cars Tour. I'll tee it up later, but man, I keep saying this every time we talk about it. They had another epic finish.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm biased, but I think it's the best thing going right now in oval short track racing. And there's a lot of great happening in oval short track racing. Sorry for all the curse words in this show.
We're just excited.
Whoever's editing that out, I apologize. But I'm so glad to be back. July 4th. I hope everybody had a great, safe July 4th celebration. Maybe I'll drop some pictures for you guys to throw into some of the YouTube shorts and some of our Instagram shorts. And so
what'd y'all do?
So where we are, go ahead, TJ.
I say you probably did that golf cart parade, right? Yeah, it's really cool there.
Yeah, TJ came and celebrated July 4th with us at the beach one year, so he knows all about it. 9 o'clock in the morning, there's a golf cart parade. And this year, man, there was hundreds. And I'm not exaggerating. There were over a couple hundred golf carts in this parade. And so it was really bigger this year for some reason. I don't know why people were just more excited, which I like. I love seeing it. But anyways, they dress the golf carts up and they're themed. Anything you can think of. There was a Star Wars themed golf cart.
It is. It's weird. It's really cool because you don't know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
And the best part about the parade is most of the golf carts throw candy to the kids.
Yeah.
So that makes it even better.
Oh, yeah.
Kids love it. Everybody's happy. And we pull our golf cart. We want to get in it and do it one day and be part of it. And we're going to do that probably next year. We're going to probably rent a golf cart. I don't trust mine. I'm a cheap guy. I bought the old golf cart and fixed it up kind of guy. And so I'm not putting mine through that. It's probably going to break. Right?
Just backfiring down the
Well, it's battery powered.
Oh,
but
okay. Gotcha.
It's hot as hell. And I just don't trust my golf cart to not break down on me in the parade. Right? So
how ironic would that be? You're watching the golf cart parade and Dale, it
Embarrassing.
breaks down in front of everyone. Yeah.
So I'm going to rent a golf cart that we can then fix, dress up however we want.
Because that one's not more likely to break down.
Right. It's probably going to be much newer. The one I have,
I think it's worse.
shoot. The one I have it was a rental for most of its life, so it's been beat to hell.
Yeah, rode hard, put up blood.
I found out that this rental service was selling golf carts, and I'm like, well, these prices are way cheaper than buying a new one. Thousands and thousands of dollars cheaper, right? So let's go take a look. I go over there, and under this covered outdoor garage, this guy had like 15 of these old banged up golf carts just sitting there, and he's like, hey, pick whichever one you want, man. I go over there, I'm like, all right, we're looking at them. And I found one that had the newest batteries and everything seemed to be in one piece, not a bunch of broken shit hanging off of it. And I said, I'll take this one. We took it home, tore it apart, painted it, made it look nicer, put some newer batteries in it, and it's working. But I don't trust it to go through the golf cart parade.
I'm telling you right now, your golf cart is going to be better than the rentals.
No.
We rent one when we go there.
I know, but I rented one this past. We had so many people at one point for Father's Day weekend. We had 15 people at the house. 15.
So you had
and
more.
So we had to rent another cart.
Yeah.
And dude, they brought us like one that's brand new. It's like, hey, it's brand new. I'm like, wow.
That might have been luck of the draw.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Look, I'm not worried about the rental company's cart breaking down.
Just yours.
Just mine.
Yeah.
Because
I would be too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah. All right. So glad we got that covered. 4th of July was great for me. Good for everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
Everybody
of fun.
have fun.
Drank a couple beers, watched some fireworks.
Yep.
Spent some time by the pool.
Yeah, we got out, those the waterway. At most beach towns and little beach areas up and down the Carolina coast have the back waterway and the long piers, right? And so we went out on one of them long piers out in the waterway and watched the fireworks. It was really great because there's 2 different islands that were alternating on fireworks. We kind of had fireworks over here, fireworks over there, and it was pretty good.
It was better than the spot last year that was the tide was coming in.
Yeah, it's a little better.
Remember we drove the golf cart? Yeah, that was scary. I was a little nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So we covered the Lego sets in July 4th, and also had a little just yesterday had the scared out of me. I got stung by a wasp on the nose about a year ago. And to everyone that saw it, it was very funny. Painful for me, funny for everyone that saw it.
How does that happen?
Well,
I'm just curious.
There was a wasp nest in the kids' play set.
Do you smell it?
Smell it? No. Oh, I get it. So I'm up there I take one of these long things. It's a long thing on a pole that you dust maybe like
I know what you're talking about.
A fan blade or something, right? So
yeah.
I take that thing. I'm going to knock this wasp nest down. So it's extended out probably about 10, 15 feet. I get up in there and I bump that wasp nest and I take off running. And I'm about 15. We might have talked about it on the show. I'm about 20 feet away from this play set. Well clear. And dude, it was like slow motion. A wasp drew a bead on my ass and flew directly at me. And I watched him coming at me. And he ran wide ass open right into my face and stung me on the nose.
Stinger first.
And I fell to the ground. And everybody, my kids, Amy, everybody's watching. They're laughing their ass off. And it hurt so bad. My eyes were watering. And this was about a year ago. Okay? So,
picturing that's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
It's like you got shot by a gun.
Dude, I was like, it was like, I mean, the boom, like he kamikazed me. And so I was like, dude, I'm impressed the little dude did that. But anyways,
Little dude.
So I have that experience, right? Ingrained in my soul.
It's traumatic.
Very. All right. I go out to my pool equipment. I get home from the beach, checking around the house, like a man, making sure doing my job, right? Everything's working. Okay, this is working. That's working. Okay, this is not working. Let me turn this back on. Let me flip this breaker. All right. We're doing all the things. Internet, everything's working well. All the air conditioners are running. Okay. We don't have anything, no problems, nothing, right? Going through the whole house. I want to make sure that I'm going to turn the the pool heater back on. All right, kids need to swim, so let's get that going. We turn that off when we leave. So I'm gonna turn that back on. I can't connect to it through my phone app, so I know that I need to go out there and reset this outlet that will allow me to connect to this hardware. So I go out there, and it's an outlet with a plastic cover on this post, all around the pool equipment, which is surrounded by shrubs. So you walk out to the shrubs, big circle of shrubs. There's a little path through the shrubs to get to the equipment and to the outlet. And so you're kind of in this box.
Jungle.
Yes. So I'm down in there, and I lean over, and I'm going to pop that little plastic cover that hinges open on this exterior outdoor outlet. And when I pop that cover, I know, no joke, no less than 25 wasps come flying out of that thing.
Straight for your nose.
I would have gone right into the pool.
They come flying out, and I feel them, like the air off of these bad boys. They are moving some air, and they're bumping into me, and I turned and ran. I audibly screamed, and I ran way off, away from them, as far as I could go. I don't know how I did not get stung. I don't know how.
Probably that speed you got running, man.
I don't know what I owe that to.
That scream probably scared them all.
Yeah.
I don't know what I owe that to, but I'm ready to pay. I'm ready to make payment on that gift of not being stung. I'm telling you, man, that scared the shit out of me. I opened that up, and them boys come out of there. I was like, I am. I knew it right then and there.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to suck. This won't be just one sting. This will be, how many will this be? And none.
I do think the pool would be an option.
I don't know why. I was right
under.
next to the pool. I don't
Yeah.
know why I went and didn't go jump in there.
I've heard that sometimes they'll wait for you, though. If you go underwater, they'll wait for you to get out.
Bullshit.
Oh, they
No,
got
bullshit.
get behind the waterfall.
I
and they come in
you
there.
know what? If I'm going in, I might pop up for air and go back down a little bit, and then do that a few times just to make sure coast is clear. Right?
There's nothing more like humiliating than getting scared by a bug, and you're like, I'm not worried about that. It's just a wasp or whatever. But 25 of them, I'd be freaking out.
I promise you, however many could fit in that plastic covered receptacle were in there. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I feel like it's probably 5. He just thinks he saw, because the past experience.
5's still a lot. Hey, I ain't went back. That damn thing, that outlet's wide ass open. I ain't went back over there. I ain't going back.
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna give it some time. I gotta build my courage up. This might take a few days.
Looks like the pool's gonna be cold.
It's fine. It's fine. The kids swimming it. Remember when you were a kid? You jump in that damn pool. You didn't care what damn temperature it was. You were like, it's cold, but I'll be fine. I'll get used to it. I want to swim. You jump into the lake. You didn't care if it was cold.
Not one bit.
Remember? Then you get to a certain age, you're like, nope, not getting in. That's too cold.
Yeah, I wonder when that is.
If it ain't 86 degrees, I ain't getting in it.
I think when you're old enough to like drink a beer outside of it, like I think you're like, it's too cold. I'm just gonna drink a beer in it outside of the pool.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
That's
I think it's teenager. I think it's teenager type.
Yeah, you think it's before?
Yeah, I think it's before.
I don't know. In high school,
Yeah.
I was still jumping off roofs into pools, so I don't know how much
Yeah.
how much the temperature was. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Huh.
Well, we're going to get into some dirty air here, talk about the Chicago race. And I want to thank Tire Pros for sponsoring the Dirty Air segment. They've been a great supporter of the Dale Jr. Download. They've been a great supporter here at Junior Motorsports, obviously, on our race cars for multiple years. And they know a ton about cars. They are the go-to. If you want an oil change, engine repair, I know the name is Tire Pros. And you're like, hey, I need tires. I'll go to Tire Pros. But they do it all. Alignments, whatever you need, they've got you covered. Visit your local Tire Pro today. TJ, I know you went to Chicago. I watched on TV. It looked like leading up to the weekend that we weren't going to have a similar situation as what we had last year with the weather. And then, wouldn't you know it,
Here it comes.
we get going. Great start to the race. Great first stage. Exciting. Good racing. Good battles. And then the weather comes in, and it's like, holy crap. I mean, it's cursed.
It It felt like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's miserable. I wasn't there, and I'm glad I wasn't there because when there's nothing. I mean, I don't mind doing rain feel on a broadcast, being in a booth, being dry. I'm there. I'm already there for the race. I don't mind doing rain feel, but man, being out in the elements, like what the crew guys, what you guys, what the fans have to deal with, watching everybody try to find somewhere to go so they can kind of wait this out, not knowing what the future might be, not knowing if you're going to get the race in. That had to be pretty miserable.
It was definitely kind of like the weekend was going so well with the Xfinity race, how great that race was. The leading up to it, the Saturday night, it looked like the place was rocking, man. With that concert going on, the drivers all coming out there. I think the drivers all had a great time introducing the fans there that don't know anything about NASCAR to NASCAR and being up close and personal with them guys. And then Sunday comes along and it's like, oh, we're good. Wait, what's this? 4 o'clock? Rain at 4. And you're like, oh no. Yeah. So that kind of, you know what? But as much shade as the rain put on the whole event, man, I think everybody rolled with it really well.
Yeah.
I mean, NASCAR did a great job. The fans stuck around. The atmosphere at that track, like leading up to it again, was incredible. Like there's so many new race fans there. I did a bus tour Sunday morning for the track, and there was fans on there. They had came the year before. They're like, we had such a good time. We brought our friends back, and now we're doing this track deal. Like they have a great time. So the atmosphere was incredible. They're doing a really good job there of, I mean, every little detail's covered. And, you know, the whole Chicago team there, Jolie Giese and her group there have done an incredible job.
Star.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We usually kind of have an instant reaction where maybe we rank the race on a scale of 1 to 10, but it's so I don't know if it's fair to do this to Chicago. Let's just go ahead and debate, you know, the future of the race. I honestly feel like that it's shown that it can be entertaining. It can be a great product in terms of when between the flags, right?
Oh yeah.
And that for me is enough for it to continue. And you know, from what I can tell, it seems like everybody there, public officials, NASCAR, everybody seems to enjoy this relationship as it is, and I think we'll see it again going forward.
Yeah, I think I don't see how you don't go back there. The track to me is becoming one of my favorite road course races because the track is so challenging. These guys are making mistakes, and we go to a track like Sonoma, Watkins Glen. These guys don't make many mistakes, and there's so much room for error at Watkins Glen now. There's you got so much runoff in all the corners. It's really hard to get in trouble. And when these guys make mistakes at Chicago, there's repercussions for it.
Yeah.
You know, and the cars, you see them going to the corner. The drivers are wrestling these cars. You see the things bouncing and but then these cars are bouncing, and you got guys like Larson and SVG out there trading the lead every other corner, you know, and so it's becoming one of my favorite races to go to is for a road course.
Yeah, I will say that the way that, like to your point, they can't get away from each other. And we saw not only some of the things you highlighted about the battles and so forth, but also when the tempers get to boiling over.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna, you know, if you get into a guy, even if it's a mistake, you're paying for it in the next corner because he's still going to be there.
Yeah.
Right. And that's while that's maybe not fun for those guys involved, and if you're one of the spotters for one of those cars, you're probably not enjoying that either. But as a broadcaster or a fan, I love to see a guy get pissed off over somebody who made a mistake and try to repay him in the next corner, and it just create more and more chaos. Which we saw a ton of that toward the end of the race, which we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show.
Yep.
One of the things that NASCAR did you think that they altered their sort of approach to wets versus dries and allowed the teams to have a little more a little more control?
I did, but I think they were more comfortable with it there too, it being a road course.
Was that something that you knew was going into the race? Did you know that there was going to be a bit of a change in protocol?
No, I didn't. I wasn't. I thought standard protocol was, all right, come down this time. Everybody's putting the same tires on.
Yeah.
Because at Loudon, and Loudon was the first oval that we've really done that at with the rain tire stuff as well, which was, I understood it there. You're kind of checking it out, but it weren't really well.
Yeah.
So I think the approach of taking the gloves off, saying,
did you know that was possible though?
No. I mean, I knew it was possible. I didn't know they were going to do it.
Did NASCAR ever tell you, hey man, we might least loosen it up a little bit?
Not to me. Yeah. I mean, I haven't read anything or said where, hey, we might. It doesn't mean that something wasn't set out, but I didn't know personally that was going to be an option.
Yeah, the teams didn't mind reacting to that.
No, I think that's how it should be.
Yeah, I do too. I think, but it's what I've been asking for, and I'm glad to see NASCAR, I guess, be a bit malleable or be able to, sort of roll with the punches or adjust on the fly. They saw an opportunity to loosen up a little bit and say, hey, let's let them do it themselves here. Let's let them handle it. And I think you're right. If there is a scenario where you could give the teams a little more control, it's that street course race. It's that, it's that confined, controlled, street course style, road course style race where these kind of things are seen commonly in all types of road racing scenarios across other forms of motorsport. So, they're a little nervous to do these type of things on the ovals because, running rain tires on those ovals is very new.
Very new
to everybody in motorsport. So
Loudon was, you watched Loudon. Loudon was crazy when we went green in the rain. But it was one thing that we're doing now. Like this race had a whole bunch of new elements to it. Yeah. Like I'm trying to see how quick the track's drying with sun, now with overcast. There's so much more going on to it that we've got to figure out now too, which is cool.
One of the new elements was the race turning into a timed event. I don't know that. I don't know that there's much debate there. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know that the fans were very concerned about that. It was pretty much, I like the idea that if they're going to do it that way, they gave us over an hour to understand that was what was happening. So the teams weren't caught off guard. The teams could still understand, okay, is my strategy going to help me here? How do I, do I want to put on this? It made the teams choose. And you can debate this or tell me more if you know. It made the teams choose in that last little stretch, will these wet weather tires get me to the finish, which it worked out for Alex, or should I put the slicks on and hope that prevails over the course of the time left in the race? So they let us know early enough that it didn't torpedo someone's strategy.
That's exactly it. The rain and it drying kind of played into that and made it even more interesting. Yeah. But them telling us early enough, your strategy wasn't set yet. Last year, I believe when they said it, there was guys that just pitted that probably would have stayed out. Yeah. And it hurt their race a lot. And we know early enough now that we all know we're going to have to stop again. But now it's like, okay, when do you stop? And now, what are you putting on for tires?
Yep.
So it made it even more interesting. But it's definitely early enough to where we can adjust, and it doesn't ruin your whole race.
Yeah, and it does bring up the debate in some circles around earlier start times. And I've always been for 1 o'clock starts or some
same
right after lunch, getting the race going. I feel like people are just coming off of whether it be going if they're going to church or just a family lunch or whatever it may be.
Yeah, chores.
It feels like that one. Right after lunch, bam, get the race started. The NFL does it every week, right?
Yeah.
1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game. I feel like I don't know. There's reasons why the networks run it at 3 and 3:30, and there's good reasons why they do it that way. But for me, I prefer the 1 o'clock starts.
So next year, right, this race will probably take place in the Amazon TNT break. Yeah. Do you think that they're not on TV necessarily? Do you think that they could push that time up or do it at a different time and not worry about the window of TV time?
Yeah, might be interesting to see if they do, since they are sort of, Amazon, I don't know so much about Turner, but Amazon being a streaming platform, they have so much freedom to do things a little differently, such as start times. I don't know whether they would move far from where we're at now. It feels like that wherever you want to live, you need to live and live it hard, right? If you're going to be a 3 o'clock start, be a 3 o'clock start across the board. That's what I liked about the NFL was I know when the games start. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to look it up. I don't have to wonder whether it's 1:30 or 1 o'clock or 2:30. I don't have to. I know when it starts. That's when they start. All of them, right? And there's a batch that's going to go off at 1. There's a batch that's going to go off at 4. And that makes it so easy. And so wherever we're going to live, we need to live it hard. And if we need to, as an industry, be consistent. So I don't know whether, Amazon or anybody would move away from the start time, the mid-afternoon start time. But what I'd love to see is it get more streamlined to where it's like, hey, every race is going to start, unless it's a night race, right? Every race, is going to start at X time, just to make it a little more easier to understand. But because having to go and look and check out, go to the app and, oh, damn, okay, this one's 2:30. Well, this one's 3, and then next week it's 3:30, and then next week it's back to 3. It's like, okay, I don't know why that is, why the little discrepancies there, but anyway, I don't control that, so I'm not going to debate it too hard. There was some interesting comments from Christopher Bell about the weather, and I think this is more along the lines of, was it raining hard enough to not be racing? You were there, TJ. You were up on spotter stand. There was some, we've had this sort of same conversation. There were 30 minutes there at New Hampshire where we felt like, okay, we should be on the track. Why aren't we? We're waiting on this big sale to come, but we got 30 minutes here.
Yeah.
And so was there a moment this weekend where you thought, why aren't we out on the racetrack?
I think there was more of a moment where why are we on the racetrack? It was raining really hard one time, and we were coming back to the green, and I was like, we had just pit, I think, so we were kind of back, and I was kind of glad because I wanted to see what was going to happen in front of us, and I would have time to get them slowed down before we got there. Yeah. But there was definitely a point where, like, all right, we're coming back to the one to go here, and I think we even doubled up that restart as well, and I was like, oh, this is going to be really interesting. But, honestly, our guys are figuring this out as they go, and yeah, they're going to make mistakes, and we're all seeing these guys make mistakes, but they're going to get better at it, and they're going to get better and better at it. But I thought it was all done really well.
Michael McDowell made a comment that he would prefer that they remove stage breaks from the road course races, which was done, and which really didn't prove out to be better, in my opinion.
Made it worse.
It did. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I don't think that's I don't know where Michael's coming from there. I guess there was a situation where we had a caution leading up to a stage break, and NASCAR said, oh, it's so close to the stage break, we're just going to leave it under caution. So yes, that's annoying. We're lengthening the caution, right? Because you're gonna have, okay, we got 3 laps to the stage break. We're gonna run those under caution. Then the stage break. Then we're gonna go through the whole process of the stage break, which is another 5 to 8 laps.
Yeah.
So we got I got up. I was like, hey, I'm gonna just get up and go do something because it's gonna be 15 damn minutes before the next stage starts. And so you don't like that. You don't want people getting up off the couch, or even worse, changing the channel. And so that's a big problem. So I don't know if I loved that idea. Why wouldn't you just go ahead and try to get them back to green, even if it's for a lap?
So I know what you're talking about. At that point in the race, when the caution came out, it fell just right. They were going to it was like 4 to go in the stage. By the time they come around and got the pace car, it was going to be 3 to go.
Yep.
And then you still got to clean up the accident as well.
Let me ask you this then. Why can't you throw the stage caution? Why can't you throw the stage flag and grant the stage winner at that moment? If you're saying, hey, the stage is over.
Yeah, we're going to move up. This is going to take the rest of the stage. We're going to move it up right now.
We're going to throw the green. We're going to open pit road. We're going to start the process to be able to, because that is okay with me, because, hey, you allow the stage break to eat into the next stage. We do. We start the next stage 2 or 3 laps, 4 laps into it, because we do. If you're okay with allowing a stage break to eat away laps of the next stage, right? Then why would you have a problem with saying, hey, all right, caution's out, 3 to go before the stage end. Let's just call it the stage end now. Start the process to be able to get the next stage started.
I guess it depends on, because sometimes the stage, like the beginning of end of stage 1, stage 2 to stage 3, sometimes are really close to different close windows are different. So that might, if somebody had pit in the middle of 10 laps before the end of the stage and they were planning on staying out, it might change something
Yeah,
strategy-wise. Yeah. I know what you mean by
you
like
could gift somebody who's short on fuel or something.
There's definitely going to be a situation that comes up that we probably haven't thought of yet. That's going to move somebody's fuel window and benefit them somehow.
Yeah,
you know. But I definitely know what you mean. Just let's just go. I mean, the track's going to be clean. Let's just move it up now.
I guess if we're going to say the caution comes out, 3 laps to go in the stage, and you let everybody know that's the end of the stage, run these 3 caution laps, we're going to throw that flag. That they don't open pit road up, do they?
No, so that's the thing. That's why they run it out because
right. So if that's the case,
you could just
throw the flag.
Yeah, I mean everyone's in the same boat still.
Nobody's leaving the racing surface.
Yeah, everyone's in the same boat.
They're already changing so much too with like the time race and everything. You know, giving the pit road options for wet. And I don't see why you couldn't.
I'm kind of okay with that because even if it does kind of gift somebody something in terms of fuel mileage or whatever, I kind of okay with that because the caution come out. That's just the way the caution fell. The caution itself inadvertently changed this strategy. Anyway, that's worth maybe NASCAR looking at down the road.
Sure.
A lot of on-track incidents during this race, as you mentioned, TJ, challenging for the drivers.
Oh, yeah.
SVG gets crashed out. That was, it's interesting. I love this broadcast. Great job by NBC. Great camera shots. But Briscoe comes flying through the frame, right? Slams into the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Bagley with a call there about how hard he pounds into the freaking tire barrier there. But you see him clip SVG.
Mm-hmm.
And SVG goes sliding out of the frame. And then it's like a couple moments later, they're like, 16 cars parked. Oh, wow, 16 cars tore up.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, he's part of this crash.
He was.
And so, but that was pretty dramatic. SVG and one of the things that I caught. So okay, it's one thing that he crashed out of the race. That's a story. But one of the things that I caught was he gets out and goes, "Trackhouse had us a good car." Did you hear that? I'm like, wait a minute, man. That didn't look like a Trackhouse car.
Trackhouse car.
What are them boys doing?
16 is not a Trackhouse car.
What are them boys doing?
He did say call again Trackhouse, like the team effort.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I
heard it. He definitely put emphasis on Trackhouse.
That car ain't never been in Colleague's garage.
I think his interview was really good, though.
Did you think has that car ever been on the shop floor at Colleague's? Or do you think it was a full Trackhouse effort? Had to have been.
I don't know if it hit the shop floor. I don't know where the truck picked the car up, but I don't know if it hit the shop floor.
Nah, it might. T-Mac was the crew chief on that deal. He used to crew chief here at Junior Motorsports. I was wishing SVG for a great day for T-Mac alone.
Yeah, T-Mac. he's had. I mean, I like T-Mac. He's done well from when we worked with him.
He was crew chief in Daniel Suarez, and then they removed him, swapped him for somebody else, and it hasn't really changed much on performance-wise with the 99 car, and I feel like T-Mac just isn't getting the credit he deserves in terms of how good of a crew chief he is. But tough deal for them.
If SVG doesn't get taken out, do you think he wins?
Top 3. He wins, second, third, something like that.
Yeah, I think he's hard to beat. Between him and Larson again, I don't know, though, if you put – some of them guys were quick, man, and I feel like – the gap is closing on this course between them and him.
I think if it's a Trackhouse car, he wins, but that Colleague livery slowed him down just a little
just
bit.
Had just enough drag to bring
I'm
him
just
down.
kidding. Chris Rice, I'm just giving you a hard time.
That's what I mean, if Chris Wright, I think he slowed him down a little bit.
A little bit. We got to give him a hard time.
Yeah.
Denny said Bowman was fast all weekend, though.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of guys that were fast like completely throughout the week.
He was.
TV.
Yeah.
TV mentioned Bowman in the pre-race, talking about his consistent finishes on road courses, and I was like, it's not a name you traditionally think of in terms of road course success, but they did a good job, man, pointing that out. He goes out there and wins the race.
He's quietly having a really good year. I don't think he's getting enough credit for the year that he started with. I mean, he's been top 10 in the points. And it's hard to do. So
you saw some emotion when he gets out of the car, and he mentioned, which we often forget, right? He mentions the brake, the back issue that was difficult. He had an incredible year going up until that point when he broke his back, I think he was in the top 2 in the points.
I think he was leading the points.
Leading the points, yeah right. Yeah. So he's doing well, very well as anyone. Breaks his back, and when he came back from that, the team had no momentum. They got no results from that point forward. I forgot about the head injury that he suffered, I think, at Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
And that's a process of at least 6 months of truly kind of getting back to feeling like yourself. Because it's not. I don't think this is his first time having some issues with head injuries. I think he had some issues many, many years ago before he actually ever got his full-time Xfinity ride. So he's dealt with that in the past, and that can be difficult to get through. And when he mentioned that, dude almost broke down, talking about how tough that had been and how he felt counted out. Right? That really hit me personally. Because I too had been starting to feel like, will Bowman ever get it going, right? What is the deal? There was a period of time when he was winning more races than anybody in the sport. There was a little chunk of about a 6 to 8 month span where he was the most successful driver in terms of victories in the sport. It was about 3 or 4 years ago. Right around when he won at Chicago, and he kind of rattled off about 3 or 4 wins there. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't remember that time period.
Oh, well, he's got 7 wins.
Yeah,
right. And so there was a little chunk where he was as good as anybody in terms of victories, and so you can check it on Race and Reference there and see what I'm talking about. But then he had these troubles and stuff, and he's just Blake comes in. They're excited about Blake as crew chief. This is going to really turn things around or try to, maybe change things, bring it on Blake. And it's just been a tough struggle, right? And so, I don't know. I'm happy for Bowman. Now we'll see if that, they can carry that momentum going forward.
Yeah, he won 4 races in 2021.
Right. So there was a span there where he was equaling some of the other drivers like Larson and guys that were winning more races in the sport. Larson ended his day in the tire barrier. That each lap, getting more. That was, that's one of them situations where, the weather and the lack of experience, I think, for all of our drivers in some of those scenarios, just kind of jumped up and bit this guy. He was getting more and more confident with each corner. And, we learn that once you got a tire sliding in the wet, you're not recovering.
No.
Especially when there's no runoff, to your point, TJ, at those racetracks.
Yeah, there's no room for air. You start sliding.
He hit the damn wall pretty hard.
He hit really hard.
But he kind of wedged it in there, kind of between wall and tire barrier.
He got stuck. But this is with Kyle Larson. He's super fast all the time, but he is very aggressive, and he puts himself. He's the guy that just can't stop himself from taking a risk like that just because he's fast. I mean, this is like when the bottom's not working in a sprint car, you swing to the top and try it, right? This is him just moving around trying to find speed. And most of the time he finds speed and makes it work. And this time it just bit him. But he's going to learn from this, and he's going to come back, and he's going to be better. So he put on a great show on Saturday, so I know he can road course race.
Yep. So there were some other contact, and unfortunately it was after the race.
Lots of contact.
What was interesting, I guess, okay, so, Bowman gets into Bubba in turn 2, just, goes in there, locks all 4 tires up, cleans out Bubba. He admitted to it. He said as much multiple times during the rain delay, in victory lane, all his post-race. He's saying, hey, I know, Bubba's mad. He ought to be mad. Don't penalize him. He hit me after the race. He should have. I deserved it. Doing everything he can to not only keep Bubba out of any kind of trouble, but also he wants to not get ran over by Bubba in the next race.
Yes, he's doing damage control.
Yeah, and so so that went on, and then we also had Chase Elliott in an incident with
Daniel Suarez,
and Brad Keselowski was a victim of that.
Well, that was it. That we weren't
right.
Yeah, we were just taken out in the Suarez and Chase deal in turn 11. We were in front of Daniel, and Chase drove into him and just sent us into the tire barrier. And then The next corner, Daniel didn't like Chase hitting him, so Daniel spun Chase out, and then Chase runs him down after the race.
Yeah. So heading into like second to last corner, Chase bumps Daniel, which bumps the 6 into the tiebreaker.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Daniel's like, well, I'm sorry, 6. I'm sorry, Brad Keselowski. Well, Chase goes by both of them, right, during that situation. So in the next corner, Daniel's like, oh, okay, I'm sending you. So it was, if you watch the in-car footage, it's insane. Daniel hooks Chase in the left rear, headed toward a right-hander.
Yeah, he wiggles, but he didn't.
Chase didn't have a chance.
No, he wiggled him. I mean, he didn't straight up hook him. He wiggled Chase enough to where Chase had lost control. But yeah, Daniel said no. No, you're not.
He said afterwards, he was like, he pushed me a little bit, then I pushed him with all my intention, and I ended up hitting him pretty good on the very last corner. My bad on that.
With all my intention.
Yeah, with all my intention.
My bad.
Yeah.
I did that with all my intention.
Yeah.
My bad. One thing I do know is you don't mess with Daniel. And me and you were talking about this yesterday. Daniel, TJ, if you bump into that guy or mess with him, he has this reputation that he's coming back. He's going to get you back. You're not going to get away with that.
Yes. No, that's absolutely right.
That's Daniel.
If you bump Daniel, his goal that run does not go from moving forward in the race. It goes to making sure you're not in front of him anymore.
Yeah. So, and Chase learned that the hard way. After the checkered, Chase ran him down.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see this with my own eyes. What happened?
I mean, I just watched the in-car.
Yeah.
That's all I saw was the in-car, and Chase just weaves through the traffic. Similar to Bubba, and just gets to him and does a little swerve at him, maybe makes slight contact, then gets in front of him and just locks the brakes up.
Okay.
So
do you view – so the debate will be, will Bubba be penalized or fined? All right. Do you think that both of these situations are identical between Chase and Bubba?
They're not identical, but they're
sorry to put you on the spot.
The reasons
hey TJ, tell us.
The reasons these situations are happening are the same.
Yeah.
I mean, one guy they're not happy with how they got raced by the other guy.
Yep.
So they want to show their displeasure, and I don't think Bubba meant anything more than just a hey bump. Alex happened to be closer to the wall and he bumped the wall. I mean that's it to me.
So some people have said that Jeff Gluck, for example, said that the precedent was set way back around 2006 when Carl Edwards swiped at me at Michigan, and Carl got $20,000 or something like that. Carl's swipe at me was
a T-bone.
That wasn't a swipe. Damn near T-bone.
Yes.
It was a really hard hit. So I think that fine for him was $20,000. This wasn't anything like that.
Your hand was out the window too.
Yeah,
like your hand was out the window.
I don't think that matters.
Well,
I just don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I know that that's bad. I know that looks bad and it's scary because a car could if you got your hand out. That's my fault.
Yeah.
For having my hand out the window. What the hell am I doing? Right? I shouldn't have my hands out the window at any time. So I won't lay this. I won't let that affect my decision on my opinion on this. I do like the old throwback idea that, man, if you piss me off enough, I want to be able to go. I want to be able to drive up to your car and door you a little bit. I don't remember where we were at. We were at Martinsville, and Tony Stewart, I wrecked somebody. I spun somebody out. I don't remember who it was.
Denny.
No, I don't think so. But I spun somebody out. Tony Stewart was mad about it.
Yeah. You and Denny were getting into it, and Tony came in.
Yes. Tony comes up. He ain't in this. But Wakash comes out, and Tony comes up to me and starts revving up his engine and swerving at me. So I just turned left, knocked the damn right front off his car. I was so mad. I'm like, who the are you? Sorry. I know we can't use this if I do this. I'm sorry.
Oh, we can. We got bleepers.
I'm like, this ain't even your deal, man. No. you ain't gonna come up and try to govern me or try to try to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm like, you want to swerve, do you? Oh, how about some contact? Want a little contact? Now you're gonna think twice. So that was during the caution, middle of the race. When the race ends, maybe you don't do what Carl Edwards did. You get spun out or something like that. We were at Charlotte and running an Xfinity race. Brad Keselowski, you're probably spotting for him at the time in the Navy car.
I was.
Brad's running really good, top 2. I'm running 4th in the 83 car. Had Lance McGrew as my crew chief. We're having a great night. Denny's up here with all of us, and Brad and Denny got into it.
Yeah.
Caution comes out, and Denny pulls up, and I think he
swipes at Brad.
Brad knocked the left front fender.
And this isn't like a tap. This is like I'm going to ruin your day.
I'm like, I got to go up and hit his fender now. This guy hit my guy's fender. I got to go get his fender.
That was an interesting night.
That needs to be able to happen. Those things like that, drivers need to be able to do those things, right or wrong. I'm not saying they're right choices. I'm not saying it's what the driver should do.
Yeah.
But the drivers need to be able to have a little bit of a jab or two, some flexibility, and
in the car.
Yeah.
Because the jab after the car is even worse. Fine.
After the race, I'm okay if Bubba goes up there and hits the 48, and I'm okay if somebody goes after Chase or Chase goes after somebody. I don't care. And if they want to find them, that's fine. I don't care. I don't think the drivers mind too much. 5, 10, 15 grand. Don't take points away. Don't truly deter this, because this is what racing's about.
Yeah, it feels like small track, America, all the after the race going and bumping people.
Now there is a line. There is a line where it's too egregious,
sure.
Too aggressive, too dangerous, and you got to know as a driver where that's at and not to cross it. But these type of things for me is kind of in our DNA. It's like the gloves coming off at the hockey match and a couple of guys getting an opportunity to throw a few punches before the refs finally come in and go, all right, enough. The fans have seen enough,
Yeah, and I think we see people do that. Like, they do it after the race, congratulating each other even harder than what that was, too.
Yeah.
Like, if I was racing with you.
The door on this car right here.
Yeah.
That's Matt Kenseth.
Yeah.
Down the back straightaway, 2001 July Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish I hadn't have done it, because look at the freaking door. It's not, it's freaking ruined.
Oh, it's awesome.
But I pull up beside him, and I went to tap him, and we were both so I guess he was so happy for me, and I was so happy, and we just cranked the wheels and just burn the right side of this car off, and just like.
But you're doing it, and you're happy.
Yes.
You're happy when you're doing it. So, but it's still like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, if I had won a race and you were in it, I would fully expect you to come up there and hit me hard.
I draw the line if the guy ends up backwards.
Yeah,
right?
You can't spin him out.
That's over the line.
Yes.
Is that right? Right.
Yeah. I don't think a little bumping after the race. Now, I don't. It's been 20 years into this. I've seen it every single week. During a race or after a race.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Bowman wins the race, changes the playoff just a little bit. I mean,
he was already up there in points. So
yeah.
But what it does change is around the 16th position. That's the big area here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Now you've got all 4 Hendrick cars are in the playoffs.
Yep. I think, that's a great point, Dalton. All 4 Hendrick cars are in the playoffs. Bowman breaks an 80-race losing streak. And, looking at the point situation, Truex in 13th, still in a good position, plus 125. Ty Gibbs still good at 84. But the concern begins with Ross Chastain and Chris Buescher. They're at plus 53, plus 45. Those are full events. Like, having a full race lead over another driver is a pretty comfortable place to be right now. But should anyone win below the line is their fear, right?
Yes.
Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, they're kind of battling each other to not be that guy that gets bumped out by a winner below the cut line. That is worth paying attention to. Then you got Bubba Wallace, Briscoe, Cobb. I think all of these guys need wins.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I think no better than how Bubba's been running. From him on down, you're going to need a win to get in. So, and it's, look, I'm a big, everybody knows it, big Josh Berry fan. Guy just announced that he's going to the Wood Brothers next year. So he was like 70 points out a couple weeks ago. Now he's 152. Had a terrible race this past weekend.
Yeah. 2 in a row, really.
Yeah. So, McDowell, all these guys, they all are in must-win scenarios. And so, which I hope that one of them or two or maybe three of them might get close to at least delivering. I don't necessarily want one of them to win or not. I don't want or not want anybody to win, but I want them to try to flirt with it for the storyline and the excitement that will deliver.
I feel like Kyle's going to do that at some point.
Yes, Kyle will. Bubba will go, somewhere.
He'll be real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daytona could be anybody's race. So
there's nothing better than having a win. I can tell you that right now.
I was about to ask you, how good does it feel this year compared to last year?
Last year was nerve-wracking. This year, having the win, and honestly, we should have 2, honestly, with Talladega, but it's so much relief to have a win right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you guys didn't have a win, you'd be right in front of Ross Chastain, maybe about 70-ish points up of the cut line.
Actually, we're 9th or 10th in points regular. We've had a really good last few months.
You have 558 points right here.
Yeah, what's that, 10th or 9th in points?
That's 2 less than Ty Gibbs.
Yeah.
So if you don't, have a win, you would literally be
in the area.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. Tough spot for you, buddy. Luckily, you got that win.
Luckily, we got that win.
I think we called Brad Keselowski winning in the offseason.
We did.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 3 or 4 second places this year as well, so.
Yeah. We do got to mention Tyler Reddick. If Tyler Reddick doesn't hit the wall, he wins the race. No question.
He was flying.
Oh, yeah.
He was
absolutely going to be right on the bumper of that 48 car going into at least the final 2 turns. And if he can't clear him out, move him enough to be able to get by him.
I don't think he does.
I think he wins the race.
I don't think he moves him.
Well, maybe you don't have to.
No.
But last resort, he at least gets a chance to move him.
I think
he can't just drive by the guy.
At Darlington, I think he learned that that's probably not a wise decision because some of these guys you're moving, if they don't make the playoffs, they're going to make your life really hard.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What I'm freaking point is, TJ, is that I think if he don't hit the wall, he wins the race. He's got to feel terrible.
I thought he was actually going to win the race at one point at the end.
Yeah. He's got to feel.
He was flying.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Timing wise, he was easily catching him.
Yeah.
But it was going to come down to it. I wish that we could have seen that. But
yeah.
I feel like he's been in that position a lot.
Yeah.
Another thing that I thought was interesting was I saw a tweet from Landon Castle where Landon had criticized. He's like, "Hey man, in the past I've criticized other forms of motorsports, particularly V8 supercars, for penalizing drivers for contact." Just getting down in the corner and bumping a guy, moving him up the track and going by. And he's like, but today I'm really appreciating how disciplined that has made SVG because SVG will catch every car and never touch them and hound the hell out of them and finally get around them. Like me and most of our other stock car guys can catch a car at a road course or a street course like that and really find it challenging to be able to set the pass up and find a way by. SVG he's so schooled in what it takes to pass a slower car without contact on a road course. It is fascinating to watch. I really appreciate Landon Castle making that tweet and pointing that out because it really it was once he said that I was like, yeah, that
he is
a great
incredible.
Point.
Under braking.
Yes.
I don't know if I've watched a little bit of his replay here.
Yeah.
Every time he starts to brake, the back of the car starts to step out. and he catches it. He is on the edge because I think he does that deal with both feet, and he's incredible at it. Yeah. Dude.
I think the cool thing about him is like you could put blank cars out there and you know which one he's driving. Like no number, no livery, nothing. You can absolutely tell which car he's driving.
He made one. The only mistake that I saw him make was in turn 12 in the Xfinity race. He did mistime the apex of the corner and he clipped the wall, and that's when Sam cut him a break because Sam had him lifted up off the corner, and Sam lifted to let him go again. That's the only mistake I saw him make.
Mentioning the Xfinity race, SVG goes on and wins a thrilling battle with him and Larson in stage 1. Joey Logano driving the 15 AM racing car. This has gotten a lot of publicity. Hailie Deegan and AM Racing have both posted on social media that they are parting ways. AM Racing has Josh Berry tentatively scheduled to drive the car at Pocono this coming weekend, but Joey Logano was asked to jump in at Chicago, goes out there, stays out of trouble, 2-time champion, smart racecraft, top 10. He did go out there and light the world on fire. This will be heavily debated. What does this mean for Hailie Deegan? How does she find a way back to getting herself in a program that continues to help her progress? TJ, you've actually, I think you've worked with her in the past.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you would be a great person to chime in on this. I'm sure you guys talked about it on Dobro Upper Clear.
Yeah.
I think that she absolutely should pursue more opportunities, either in the trucks or the Xfinity Series. I do not know enough about AM Racing to be able to make a to make a decision on what talent Hailie has and whether she really truly deserves to continue. I believe she should, and I think that in a good scenario where I think in the right situation, there's enough want to that she could actually turn into quite an accomplished racer at some level. Whether it's, I don't know if it's a cup level, but I think in the right scenario, she could become a contender.
Yeah, I agree.
In the truck or the Xfinity Series. The cup's a whole nother beast, but you worked with her. What do you think?
So, I think Hailie is incredibly talented. I went and did the first couple races with her. I think I went to Sonoma and was spot for her. She sat on a pole for the West race there, which is, that race is filled with cup guys and stuff, and she goes out there and qualifies on the pole for it. I think we run 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that, but competitive.
Yeah.
So I just think the situation didn't pan out as well. Hailie, she doesn't have enough experience in these cars to go and tell you, hey, this is what I need to feel at this part of the track. This is what I need to feel here. And the truck is so different than what the Xfinity car is. She just doesn't have the experience to say that stuff. So putting a guy like Joey in there and Josh Berry, they can say, hey, you guys need to work on this.
Yeah.
Hey, you need to work on that. Joey wasn't in that car to get, he was in the car to get experience for the cup race and to let them guys know, hey, this is the part you need to work on, because obviously, the car can get better. So, but I think Hailie needs to just go and be surrounded by A's. She needs to go and be surrounded by people that can tell her, this is what you need. This is what you need to feel. This is what you need to do here. And then she can learn them scenarios and learn that feel and then grow as a driver. It's hard. She just doesn't have the experience to go in there and tell them guys, hey, this is, the car's way off here. You could go out there and run one lap at any of these tracks in the Xfinity car and say, hey, this thing's way off. Yeah. She doesn't know that. So she can't. You waste time trying to figure that out. But I do think Hailie is incredibly talented, and given the right scenario, I think she can be successful.
Yeah. This made me think about this, and I don't know if this will make sense or not, but Hailie is a product of a very challenging system. And this is the same for a lot of drivers that I've worked with and a lot of drivers that I've seen that work their way from, whether it be racing at Millbridge to late models to super late models, the truck and Xfinity opportunities that eventually come along. And a lot of times, whatever the financial support is for a driver, it is very difficult wherever that financial support's coming from, whether it's a sponsor, whether it's family, whatever that support is, it's still a lot of money, a huge commitment, and it's not forever. And so what happens is, and this is, I believe, somewhat similar for Hailie, is so in a perfect world, you would let Hailie or any of these other drivers run in that, that K&N series or run super late models or run trucks a few more years, right?
Sure.
And what happens is that there's a bit of an urgency to try to move up and take the very next available opportunity at the next level, because the support financially is not forever. And you do not know when that finally dries up. For whatever reason, you lose that financial support. So every rung on the ladder that develops above you, whether it's the truck series or Xfinity series, no matter how good or bad that rung is, you grab it.
Sure.
And I think a lot of times drivers then ultimately end up in bad situations that don't
pan out
for them.
Yeah.
And this is one of those scenarios where I think that she felt like, man, I really got to take this. This has been presented to me, and I got to take it. It's Xfinity. I think I fit those cars better. I think I'll do a better job in this series. And she took it when it might not have been the opportunity she should have chosen.
Yeah.
What other things she could have done, I do not know. Whether it had been stay in the truck series. But I see this with a lot of drivers that are trying their hardest to get to the very top, taking the next opportunity that presents itself at the next level and trying to progress as quickly as possible, because you can't sit here and fund a late model program or a super late model program or a truck program or a K&N program forever.
Yeah.
And and they're like, well, we're spending all this money, let's just go spend it here. And then they're spending all this money, let's just go spend it here. And they just they just end up in bad situations.
It's all about timing.
It is. It's about timing.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't.
Yep. But it's frustrating to see it, because that if you could have predicted or chosen Hailie's path, you would have certainly sent her in a different direction, right? Mm-hmm. If you could have taken the last 5 years and done something differently with Hailie's career, you would have not put her on this path.
Yeah.
You would have done it differently. And I could say that for a lot of different drivers that I believe had the talent, but just ran into the wrong situations.
Yeah. And don't forget, in the beginning of her NASCAR career, the bigger track stuff was during COVID.
Yeah.
So her first laps on all these tracks when she first got in the truck series was lap 1, turn 1. We didn't even qualify.
Yeah.
So we lined up and raced, and that was her rookie year.
And I don't know that this is a young team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Trying to put itself together, trying to build some notes and get a foundation, and getting a young driver that lacks experience
doesn't help them grow.
Doesn't, and so they'll very much benefit from what
100%.
they learned with Joey and whatever they may do going forward. And but I would say Hailie would probably be better off with a team that has some some foundation underneath it, that's been a team that's had these type of drivers come in and that knows what they need, how to sort of, I don't want to use the word coddle, but almost knows how to handle these inexperienced young drivers and how to protect them.
Yeah. That's been shown a little bit when she ran Vegas.
Yeah.
In that first Xfinity race, she ran Vegas and ran between 10th and 15th all race.
And whose car did she drive?
That was a Stewart Haas car.
Yeah.
So, and for her first race in Xfinity, and Vegas isn't by any means the easiest track we go to with the characteristics of the track.
Yeah.
And for her to run 10th to 15th in her first race, that's what she needs.
Well, I think it's best that they're going their separate ways, and I think AM should definitely try to, tab some Josh Berry types that can sort of help them say, hey, man, and they need to listen to these drivers. Hey, this is what's wrong with your program. Mm-hmm. Hey, this is where you're short. This is where your performance is lacking.
Yep.
and they can build their program, and then maybe go back to hiring a full-time driver that
you
might
get better
complement
names
them.
too. More better names want to go and work and drive for you.
Yeah, and maybe Hailie can find herself a situation. She doesn't need to upgrade so much in terms of race teams, but there are some great teams out there that might be in line with her funding and support that have been around a while, right, in the series that do just this, right? They take on these sort of projects and develop them. We'll just have to see what happens. I'd hate to see her just go elsewhere.
I know, right? Yeah.
I hate to see her give up on stock car racing altogether.
And she is, she's good for the sport too. There's a lot of kids. When I worked with her in the trucks, Stella, my youngest, she's like, I'm a huge favorite driver. Hailie. The kids gravitate towards that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I want to thank Tire Pros again. This segment of Dirty Air was brought to you by the great folks at Tire Pros. There's few people who love cars as much as I do, but these tire and service experts, they equally love the drive, from oil changes to alignments, brakes. Tire Pros gives your vehicle the TLC it deserves. Tire Pros is unique. Each location is owned by men and women in your community, and they have the added support of over 600 plus locations nationwide. So if you want to show your car a little TLC, take it to your neighbors, take it to your friends in the area at your local Tire Pros, and they're going to take care of you. All right, everybody, Alex Bowman, the winner at Chicago, has called in to the show. And Alex, you have myself, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and TJ Majors on the show. So thanks for calling us today. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah. I'm on day 2 of a hangover, so we're here. But
gosh,
yeah, definitely a great weekend for us, and it was cool to finally snap the winless streak.
I appreciated all of your transparency during your post-race interview about how lit you were going to get. I wonder, do you know the ounces of bourbon that you consumed?
Yeah, I don't really remember. For being honest. Honestly, probably less than expected. Yeah. I knew how bad yesterday was going to hurt, especially when we still had all our meetings. So,
did you get up for meetings yesterday?
Yeah.
How many? What time did you go to bed?
Oh, did you go to bed?
Like 8:30.
8:30 in the morning. Wow. And what time's the first meeting?
11:30.
Are you able to zoom in, or is it a physical meeting where you got to be there in person?
I was there in person.
Oh my God! Did you smell like a liquor cabinet?
I don't think so. Maybe Chase was sitting next to me, so you'd have to ask him.
You can't smell yourself if that point, though.
Yeah, I still can't smell much of anything. I feel like I'm dying.
All right. Hey, I love it, man. So there's not. I don't know many drivers that party like you and I did when we would win a race. There's not. I was bound to determine that if we won, we were going to go home. We're going to drink as hard and as long as we could. And so I'm glad somebody is doing those things today. How much? One of the more interesting things I think is who's still there at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. So who are the soldiers?
Yeah, pretty much everybody was still there when the sun came up. A couple of people had kind of started to disappear.
Yeah.
I think, some people were asleep upstairs. Yep.
What are y'all doing for 12 hours? Are you listening to music? You rewatch the race?
Well, we didn't get home till 2 something.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It was pretty late start.
Gotcha.
But we hung out. There was some Taco Bell and pizza here when we got home.
Heck yeah.
Somebody took care of you.
You had some. Yeah, your girl was home.
Yeah,
she didn't come to. Yeah.
Chloe had us hooked up when we got home, which was good. But we kind of just hung out, had a good time drinking. Everybody ended up in the pool at some point.
Wait. not everyone surely no one travels with their bathing suit. So how does everybody end up in the pool?
I mean, I ended up in the pool with all my clothes on, shoes and everything.
Okay.
So, to be honest with you, last night when I finally was trying to live my life and eat some food, I ordered some DoorDash and I went to the front door and all of somebody's clothes were on my front porch. So
I was going to say
all of it.
The better story would have been
the
better story would have been that Bubba Wallace was there delivering the DoorDash. I'm just messing.
And he got in your pool fully clothed.
And he threw you in. So I don't want to hijack this, but this reminds me of when we won Martinsville. Funny story. We win Martinsville, and I play music, right? You've been to my house, and so we're rocking out. We're playing music or whatever. Well, they had a replay of the race they were running on I guess whatever network it was. They just decided to play the race over. So we got that on the TV, and we're watching it a little bit, and we're things are happening in the race, like people are running over each other, spinning each other out. My teammate at the time, Casey Kane, was at the house partying with us, drinking with us. And this was the Martinsville race where him and Vickers got into it.
Oh.
And when that came on and we started all reacting to it, whatever our reaction was, I didn't think it was bad, pissed off Casey, and he left. Like, right then and there, left the freaking party. And I was like,
that's awesome.
So, anyways, little nugget there. But, so, did you play music?
I feel like we played a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Kind of have a big playlist that typically gets played on the boat that jumps around through like every genre, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we just played that, which was cool. I think my neighbors are probably not happy. I had a new neighbor move in last week.
Damn.
Tough
introduction.
Music till 9 o'clock in the morning.
Did you invite him over? That'd have been the right thing to do.
I don't even have their contact info. I haven't met them yet. So.
Just knock on their door, man. 2 o'clock in the morning.
He lives in a very, very, I don't know. The rules in your neighborhood are relatively tight.
Not where I live now.
Oh. Did you move?
Everybody here is super cool. They've been awesome. Yeah, my old neighborhood was a pain in the butt.
That's the one. Yeah, I didn't know you moved.
In the middle of nowhere with the crazy HOA.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, HOAs are no joke.
Yeah, the people here are awesome. So hopefully my new neighbors don't hate me too bad. We blew some speakers out in the back patio, so
they hate you. They hate you.
You were playing it loud.
They hate you.
Yeah, yeah, it's a rough deal. Like it was a long night for sure.
Yeah. Well, you better fix the speakers.
Yeah, we got
you
another
could win.
shot
Yeah,
at
you could win Pocono. You better have them damn speakers right.
Yeah.
You can't have bad speakers. So it's been a win. It's been a long time coming, and you had some comments when you got out of the car in Victory Lane or on the front straightaway, wherever you were, and you said, I had the broken back, I had the head issues from Texas, and there was a lot of an emotion in your voice. I don't know that I think all of us, the industry, had forgotten just how difficult some of the past several months have been for you. And so, I think we forget how difficult it is to come back from from either the head injury from Texas and the broken back, obviously. So, you got through all of that, and I've been in situations as a Hendrick driver where I've struggled for a very long period of time. I know what it feels like to break that winless streak in that equipment. It's got to be a big relief. You've got to be thankful that you were given that opportunity to prove that you belong there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know how it is. You start to second guess yourself and start to think what if Vegas was going to be the last win? And it has certainly been a tough 2 years. So to be able to do that, it just meant a lot. Obviously, to have Mr. H and Ally and everybody stick behind me through some really difficult times meant a lot to me. So just super appreciative for the opportunity. But yeah, I mean, to break the winless streak, to get Blake his first win as a crew chief, really like a ton of guys on my team have never won a cup race before. So to be able to share that with them was super meaningful. And yeah, I mean, it's obvious, right? Like my teammates have been super successful the last couple of years, and we've struggled. So to be able to overcome that means the world to me.
Yeah, I wanted to give you a chance to. I know how Rick is, and he's he's very proficient at seeing things through, giving things time, being very common sense oriented in difficult situations, but also your relationship with Ally, I think, served you very well during some of the more challenging times. These people love you, and I know that by have some inner workings with some things we've done together with paint schemes and having Ally's support here at our show. I know how much that relationship means to them, and you've driven the 88, you've driven the 48, two cars that I was synonymous with the 88. You jump in Jimmy's number 48. That's a difficult situation for you either way, but you've kind of made this Ally relationship yours. When I think about Ally, I don't think about Jimmy Johnson. I think about you, and I gotta believe that out of everything you've ever been through in motorsports, that this relationship with Ally has to be one of the things that you're most proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know what it would be like when I first got to team up with them and come over to the 48 team, but they have been just awesome to work with. From the top down, everybody there's just great people. Obviously, they're a really, really fun group. I think Andrea was probably getting after it about like I was on Sunday night. So, they're just really fun to be around. Everything we do together is super fun. They've really supported me through tough times, but also supported things that mean a lot to me, whether it's, the animal shelter stuff. I mean, we've raised like $750,000 for homeless pets together. Obviously, they've supported my sprint car program and my Chili Bowl stuff. So they've just been awesome to work with, and what a great group of people to get to work with. So I enjoy that a lot, and I'm glad they like me as much as they do. It's certainly appreciated, and it makes my job a lot of fun.
Yeah, buddy. Well, we're glad to see you in Victory Lane. I know that was a lot of fun for you to win at that racetrack, a very iconic city of Chicago. A big win for you guys. Hopefully it creates some momentum going forward. Hopefully we'll get you back on the show soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having me, and if we win Pocono this weekend, you two gotta come hang out and drink.
I'll come by for a few. I ain't drinking no bourbon though.
I'm only coming if your neighbor comes.
I saw somebody holding a Miller Lite. I'll drink one of those if you got them.
I mean, we got beer too. We got whatever you want.
All right. I hear you.
Whatever
man.
you go for.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Man, I'm always thankful to be able to talk to the winners every single week, and I say that every single week. It's new this year for us, TJ, on this show, and it's nothing that we take lightly. We really appreciate it. Great to be able to pick their brain a little bit, and known Alex a long time, so good to see him.
Yeah, and good. The guy's got, what'd you say, 7 cup wins now? That's not just you don't win 7 cup races by chance.
No.
So.
Yeah, hopefully they got some more momentum that they can carry through and make a good run in these playoffs. It's going to be important, I think, for them to have more success, right? I know they feel that pressure still, but let's move on to Ask Junior. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in today for this portion of the Ask Junior segment of our Tuesday show, Dirty Air. I also have with me today filling in for Andrew. Andrew's under the weather. Didn't make it in today. So I asked TJ Majors to drop in one of the incredible characters on Door Bumper Clear that you listen to every Monday, has joined us today. So thank you, TJ.
Appreciate it.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. They are a proud premier partner of NASCAR, and they provide you with the fastest mobile service with 5G and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots all across the country. Anytime you're in a crunch or a tough spot, they're going to pull through. I have the service, and I'm very happy with it. So thank you, Xfinity, and make the switch today, and you can save some money with Xfinity Mobile. Let's get to the questions, Dalton.
Yeah, man. First one, we are having a question from Mark. What do you think the chances are for Ryan Blaney to win an ESPY that he's nominated for?
Wow. I don't know what the chances are. He's got some tough isn't he driver of the year?
It's driver, best driver. He's going up against Max Verstappen, Alex Palou, and Matt Hagan.
He's not going to beat Max.
You don't think so?
I just don't think so. Of course, though, the last several weeks, Max has been beatable. I don't know if that matters I don't know how that might affect the votes. But when is the ESPYs?
I believe it's this week, if not next.
Yeah.
Let me double check that. But Ryan is going.
Yeah.
So that could change.
If he's going, then I would think that maybe he knows that he may win it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see.
I hope he wins it because, hey, I got an ESPYs. I got one.
Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you win it for?
Driver of the year, 2004.
Okay.
I think 2004. Yeah. And so anybody that says that ESPYs don't matter and it's a made up award, they don't have one. Yeah. Next question.
Well, you can still vote for Ryan. So go vote for Ryan.
Oh, you can.
Yes, go vote for Ryan.
Dalton comes in, saves the day.
I did.
Vote for Ryan.
Let's vote for Ryan.
We can help this.
How do we do that?
Go to, I believe, just ESPN.com or ESPYs. Right. Somewhere on there. Just Google ESPYs and you'll be able to vote for it. You'll find your way there.
Jeez. All right. The YouTube video will help you learn how to.
Yeah. Go to YouTube, Google how to vote for Ryan Blaney on the ESPYs. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next question. Big weekend for NASCAR with the EV car, right? So what are your thoughts, both of you, on the EV project?
Man, so many people were freaking out.
I know.
Yeah. I tweeted out about that. I was like, I thought I sat on it for a day, and I was like, don't want to have a reaction and didn't have to reel it back. But I got to thinking, and they had this little video of it, throttling up and taking off, and I was like, dude, that looks exactly like the slot cars that I raced. Me and Kenny Wallace used to go to the slot car track at Dave Mater's. He had a Dave Mater, prolific racer in his own right. Used to have a slot car track in Mooresville when I was really young. I still have the box and all my cars and everything. And I used to meet Kenny Wallace over there, and we'd race our slot cars. It's just like that. And then in around the early 2000s, me and the Uris got heavy into RC cars, and I had a bunch of those pan carpet cars that we race on the indoor tracks. Just like that. It's a big toy. That's all it is. Nothing to be scared of.
I saw that there was some talk that NASCAR and Nitrocross are going to get together, and that's probably where we'll see that be implemented.
Well, everybody was like, oh, what are we going to do? What's this replacing? What's this replacing? Everybody's like, I don't want it to replace anything. No. And then, a couple days later, or a day later, Adam Stern says, hey, NASCAR may be investing in Nitrocross. And now they're going, all right, well, maybe that's where this car could live. There could be a pavement, portion to Nitrocross that this car could exist. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it sort of infringing on what we love about NASCAR and the 3 Series, the top 3 Series, and Truck and Xfinity and Cup. And yeah.
It doesn't scare me at all either. Yeah. I think it's kind of fun to watch if it turns into a 30-lap race before, at a track we go to or something. I look at the FIE or whatever it is, and yeah, they have little exhibition races or little series it runs. I mean, and you see some names in it show up once in a while, and I think it could turn into something like that.
There was a bunch of comments about the way it looked. Okay, I don't have a problem with the car, but the way it looks, and this is NASCAR's not great at designing a generic, initial introduction car, right? okay, they're not car designers. We get it. This is not what it's going to really truly look like when it's all said and done. Once the manufacturers get a hold of it, if it were to become a series, they would certainly want it to look more like, what you're selling on the street. And NASCAR, they kind of, this is sort of, they gave it a bit of a car of tomorrow vibe, which won't serve them very well. But, I'm not too worried about the visual, look of the car.
I was kind of hoping they get like a street stock series so I can throw a number on my car and maybe run.
There you go.
No,
put the Tesla in there.
TJ does on a electric vehicle. He's just letting everybody know, a little humble brag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right there.
When it works.
Yeah.
Keep it charged.
Yeah, it did break on him and locked him out, and he had to have somebody come over and put a little 12-volt battery in there that needed to be replaced.
Little defibrillator.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah, it was at the worst possible time too. So
that's the worst. Yeah, I mean, if it can open the door up for more manufacturers to bring some stuff in, I don't see what the problem is. 1,300 horsepower is a pretty big deal.
We'll see.
All right, last one. News just broke this morning. Rodney Childers is going to be the crew chief for the number 7 car at Spire next year.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts, reactions, how are we feeling?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. I'd heard that rumor being a possibility. I think it's a great get for Spire, right?
Sure.
Spire continues this, sort of, put up or shut up sort of, hey, we're in. We're no longer just looking at the financial bottom line and trying to, be profitable at all costs in terms of a big cost and performance. They are now going after performance. They are spending money and focusing more on results, which I have to applaud them for. And if Corey continues to be the driver, I think this is the opportunity. I think he has to be incredibly excited if he's the driver of the car next year, which I have nothing to believe that he wouldn't be. He's had a bit of a tough go lately, and critics are coming out about whether, there needs to be a new direction for the 7 car. And I think this is his opportunity to maybe try to go get the results that he thinks he's capable of getting. Rodney's one of the best in the garage. He's got a few years left. And, I think eventually Rodney's going to find that, general manager, technical director role that gives him a little more time with his family. But he's got a few more good years on that pit box left, and this could be exactly what Corey LaJoie needs to get his career where he wants it to be.
Yeah, Rodney, no matter where you say Rodney goes, we're going to say that's a great get for them because Rodney is incredibly talented as well, and he knows how to call a great race. He knows how to put cars in position at the end, and he knows how to make cars go fast. So this is Corey's got to be pumped.
I would say too, it's a missed opportunity, or a loss for other teams that may have been interested in Rodney. Imagine where, if he had went to RCR with Kyle Busch, imagine that pairing, right? Rodney and Kyle together. Kyle wins races. I think gets back to victory lane with Rodney. Even Rodney, having taken Petrie's spot over there as sort of the technical director, head technical director, would have been a great hire.
Yeah.
And so staying with Furniture Row, what that might have been for that team if they're trying to continue to develop into a contender as they have over the last couple of years. It was a missed opportunity for several teams that could have tried to lure Rodney there.
Gotcha. Yeah. The only other stuff I have is Front Row's making an announcement tomorrow. They're going to be announcing their driver. Noah Gragson seems to be the leader for that position. And yeah, there was also some news that Austin Dillon said that there could be some shaking up next year at RCR. So we'll see what happens. Everybody keep your eye on it. Yeah,
the Front Row stuff is going to be interesting. There's still like a murky, there isn't
an
unknown about this, where the 4th Stewart-Haas charter really.
Yeah, I don't think it's really been accounted for yet, has it?
We don't really truly know where that thing's going to land, where it will live. And so there's still a lot to shake out. Front Row will be interesting. There's a little. I think Spire may have some developments, possibly. There's still some. I think we know what's going to go on at Trackhouse, but not everything's been announced entirely, right? In terms of colleague and a few other things. There's Rick Ware may still have some things that they have unsettled on their second car, unsure there. So there's still a lot of things that could happen over the next couple of months. And it should, like the next week, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, should shake out quite a bit.
It's already so early. I mean, I feel like silly season started like way early this year.
Daytona.
Like so weird.
Well, the Stewart Haas thing kind of kicked the ball down the road and got it going, and inevitably, created a stir, and that's kind of why I think that happened. But everybody needs to know what they're doing, by August. Pushing into September is really getting late for trying to get those announcements out, trying to start to develop.
Prepare for next year.
Everything you need in terms, not only just, cars and crew and people, but merchandise and all of those things. That stuff's, well out in front. So that's why you want to get those deals announced and done as early as possible. All right, it's time for Dirty Modo. We're going to bring in Alex Timms. Alex, big weekend in Chicago.
Huge.
Yep. How did you do?
Personally, I did terrible.
Oh, no.
But Steve earned a steak dinner at Phoenix with an Alex Bowman win.
What?
Him and Professor had a side bet because Professor did not think he was going to win.
Yep.
He did, and Steve gets steak dinner.
Well, just tell me some of the bets that you made, some of the things that you might have done differently.
So I had SVG to win and Christopher Bell to win. So I think the only thing I had to do differently there was just not have Chase Briscoe spin out. But but the driver slicks, I was looking really good before they all pitted for the slicks.
Yeah.
Or the wets, I should say, in slicks. But I think I had, John Hernemechek top 10, Chastain top 10, Bell win. It was all looking good, and then they all pitted and they all never recovered.
Yeah.
So it looked bad for
I'm
there.
surprised you didn't have a Bowman top 5 to Bowman top 10.
I did have a Bowman top 10. It was my only bet I won, actually.
Got you. All right. Good job. Going into Pocono, man, I mean, unlike Chicago, we've got a pretty good bag of notes on this racetrack and what's been going on there lately. What's your best bets?
I can't wait to get back to Pocono for some predictability. Probably Hamlin, Larson, Reddick, some combination of those guys. They're always good there. But my long shot, believe it or not, Daniel Suarez runs very well there.
Wow.
So I might find some good value with him.
All right, Daniel Suarez, would you just put a top 10 bet on him?
His average finish there is like top 10. Like he's within the top 10 of average finishes. So
maybe take him in a couple head-to-heads or something like that.
Yeah, if you can find some head-to-heads with him, definitely target him there.
Nice, man. All right, bud. Well, Dirty Modo comes out every Thursday. You guys will have a lot more detail, analysts of the weekend coming up for Pocono. When you do release Dirty Modo on Thursdays, you don't want to miss it, folks. Even if you don't bet, they do a great job of just kind of handicapping the field, telling you what to expect, who might be the heavy hitters, some of the surprises to look at, and you can clown them when they're wrong, which I like to do too. So thank you, Alex, for coming in, man.
Thank you.
All right, it's time for the white flag. Hey, this is our rundown. This is the Dirty Mo Media sort of reminder of all the great content that we have coming out every single week. Sunday nights, the Teardown with Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi. They dropped that, covering everything that happened in Chicago. Two guys with boots on the ground telling you everything that's going on in the sport. And Mondays, Actions Detrimental with Denny Hamlin. That has come out. And Door Bumper Clear as well. The spotters from the roof chiming in on everything they experienced from their vantage point this past weekend in the Windy City. Dropping tomorrow, Speed Street with Connor Daly and Chase Holden. Connor has a bit of an update, some news.
He's going to be running a couple truck races at IRP, Kansas, and Homestead for Nice in the 44 truck.
Awesome. We can't wait to hear about that on Speed Street. That drops tomorrow. And then our Gary Nelson interview here on the Dale Jr. Download also drops on Wednesday tomorrow. So Thursday, DJD Reloaded and Dirty Modo. Catch up on all the great bets to make for the upcoming race in Pocono. Dalton has the tweet of the week.
Yeah, I got a couple. They stood out to me, but one on July 4th specifically. No Context NASCAR tweeted, "Gonna lose 2 fingers tonight, so I can always be holding 3 for Dale."
I saw that.
And I made sure to retweet it and say, please don't do
Please
that.
don't do that.
The other one was, we talked about Martin Truex Jr.'s bass fishing show.
Yeah.
Someone came up with the name Martin That's it. And I was like, that's already a TV show. You can't do that. But would have been funny.
Yeah. Well, the question of the week from, I guess, Chase Elliott last week was pretty popular. Got a little traction out there. Great question from Chase. And we're going to do it again this week with Tyler Reddick.
All right, so yes or no? Scooter gang for life?
Oh, am I Scooter gang for life?
I guess so.
I guess I am. I mean, I am. Yes, Scooter gang. Yeah. TJ.
I was waiting for this.
TJ bought an electric scooter.
Listen
to this. This is what happened. So we got a few seconds here. TJ's like, hey, man, look what I'm trying to buy on the internet here.
I'm sitting with him when I'm bidding on this thing.
And he's bidding on this electric scooter. And I'm like, damn it, now I want an electric scooter. And so, And so I go on my Instagram. All I see is electric scooter ads. And Amy's like, what are you looking at there on your phone? I'm like, electric scooters. And I can't stop it. I don't want an electric scooter. I don't need one. Yeah. But they just keep coming.
I know. I kind of want to
buy life.
I kind of want the Titanic now, Lego.
You got Tyler Reddick and this guy over here, TJ.
Surrounded by it.
I am. I can't get away from the scooters, so I'm Scooter Gang whether I want to be or not.
Scooter Gang for life.
Anyways, shout out to everybody out there in the Scooter Gang. Thank you again for anyone listening on SiriusXM, and that's the TJ. Thank you for coming in today.
I appreciate
Get well,
it.
Andrew. Great show today. Had fun. We'll see you tomorrow.